As we slip the
Thank you for
night
joining us. We thank you so much. I'm putting them on my other page, so if you just be patient with me, we know we're behind, but it's going to be worth every minute.
every minute.
Every minute. Anytime you join me and my son, you can bet. We're just trying to put it on other pages, so if you just
You to me. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? My wife told me we need to start talking or we're going to lose our audience.
well, anybody that want to stay and figure that it's worth it, they'll stay on.
Yes, yes, yes.
May
I
not be for
am
everybody,
ready.
you know. We trying to do it, but I got another. Well, talk, son. My daughter said we're gonna lose our audience.
And she
Well,
just been
listen,
here.
we do thank you for joining us. We appreciate it very much for you coming on, being with us. And so we are going to go ahead and start. I do have it on healthy relationship. I do have it on healthy relationship. So we're going to go ahead and start, son. Thank you for joining us. We do appreciate it. As we slept the night away. Now, I could have sung this song when I was in the world. I could have really sung it when I was in the world because I didn't think about another person or the wife that I was sleeping with, the husband. Yes, me. And it's in my book. It's in my book, No Secret Me. I didn't think about the consequences, and I didn't think about how the woman would feel. Amen. Her husband coming in all time of night and the infidelity and thinking that how she would feel with her husband coming in all time of night. All time of night. But we're going to talk about this as we slept the night away. And it's not only that away because I know he got a twist of what it is that he's going to be bringing. So we thank you all for joining. My daughter said we were going to lose the audience. We didn't stop talking. So I want to start talking. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As we slept the night away, and I'm here with my son, amen, relationship GPT.
Yes, ma'am. In the
Damon
building.
Rich, amen, and his wife that's in the background coaching us, telling us what to do, how to do it. Amen. My daughter Tamika, we thank God for her. So we're going to get into the meat of what it is that we want to talk about. I put about 3 weeks ago. Was it about 3 weeks ago?
I think
And I
almost
had to
that,
bring it. I had, when I was talking to my daughter April, I had to figure out what it was that I was talking about. Do you remember what it was?
Yes, ma'am. It was you was talking about have you ever been cheated on and had and forgave and took somebody back was the basic of it.
Okay.
Was have you ever, been cheated on and had to take somebody back? And for some reason that question resonated because you had a lot of people.
I had a lot of
You had a
followers.
lot of people saying, coming back and saying, yeah, I've done it. I
Yeah.
had to do it. And
Yeah.
I think it's a really, really good topic
Yes.
to discuss, to get into. Infidelity, unfortunately, is rampant.
Right.
Is a lot of relationships are going to or have experienced it. Everybody deals with it differently. Everybody thinks they know what they're going to do when it happens to them. Some people react completely different
Absolutely.
than what they are going to actually do, and some people um, do exactly what they said they was going to do. Some people, I'm gonna leave or I'm gonna hurt somebody. I'm gonna do, and they do just that.
Absolutely.
And it's one of those things that when Tamika and I do coaching and pre-marriage education, we ask people, what's your deal breaker? What's that thing that's going to make you say, I'm out of here, I'm over, I ain't trying no more. And a lot of people walk into our pre-marriage coaching session thinking that infidelity is their deal breaker. But when they go through this emotional exercise that we put them through, they quickly figure out like it's going to take more than that for me to walk away
Right.
from my marriage. And so it is a very real question. I want to definitely break down some things and some stuff for consideration as we get into this particular topic, because it's a lot to it. It's a lot to it. It's
And
a
we say,
lot
get
to
your
it.
pen and get your paper. Get your pen and some paper and write it down. And like we say, it may not be for you, but it's for somebody. Hear me?
Yeah.
It
I,
may
it,
not be for you, but it is for somebody. And just because you don't know that infidelity, and you got to look for, and I say there's some signs, because it's signs, but it's some things that we overlook.
yes,
It's
ma'am.
some signs that we overlook because we don't know what to do. We don't know how to get out of it, whether to stay in it,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So we just want to talk about it. And again, we say like, tag, and share if you will. Please share this with someone else, and because my thing is to be a help. When I come on with topics like this, is to be a help.
Yep.
Amen. It's to we don't he and I do not advocate divorce, so don't think that we're going to talk about certain things, say, oh, I've been waiting for a sign, I've been waiting for confirmation. No, you got to know without a shadow of a doubt whether it's you're in a relationship with just a man, a man in a relationship with a woman, whether you look for signs. And I can say this, over the years, in the last couple of years, I was so into wanting to have this relationship that I looked over the signs and I looked over the warnings, because I had not been in a relationship in so long. So I was so happy that, finally, and I didn't broadcast it. I didn't put it out. I didn't put pictures of me and a man on the outside, because we got too much of that, of women's and men, especially clergy, with a man, this, and then it don't work out, and you don't slam the pictures all over the place, and now you're in another one, and now you got another, more pictures with another man. And so I chose not to publicize my relationship, but the thing is, it was a long distance relationship, and the end of the matter, it was somebody else in the relationship. And I'm so glad I didn't give myself. What you mean give yourself? I'm so glad I never had sex with him,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want all those spirits being wrapped up in me.
Uh-huh.
All those spirits being wrapped up in me, where I couldn't discern who was who, what man was what. This man didn't please me like the other man. So we got to be careful. You just cannot lay up with a man to try to keep him, because even having sex won't keep a man. All right,
No.
son. All right. I think I
No.
laid the foundation. Let's go with it.
Yeah. I have a question, and I asked this other people, those that might be bold enough to answer, because they definitely answered on your thing. So they said, whether they have done it or whatever. And the question I have for them is, what made you stay?
What made you stay?
What made you stay? And that's one thing I want to make sure that we dig into and we understand is, if you stayed, what made you stay? Now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to tell you something like up front, straight off. How I tend to coach people who are dating and experience infidelity versus people who are engaged and experience infidelity versus people who are married and experience infidelity are three completely different coachings, to a degree,
Okay.
because there's something that when you're married you have more to consider than if you're engaged.
Right.
And if you're engaged, you have more to consider than you're just dating with no firm, hard commitments.
Right.
And so if you stay, regardless of which state, I want to know, if you could drop it in the comments, why did you stay? Now, people might get a little nervous and not want to drop that in here tonight, but I want to talk about why did you stay. But here's a question I also, Mom, and I'm gonna post this to give this to you, is what do you think is worse? Your spouse coming clean without getting caught, or you having to find it out? What which one do we prefer? Right? Do I want
Yeah.
to discover it, or would I rather them get to a place where they at least honor and respect me enough that they would tell me, and then figure out where we go from there? I didn't get caught.
Right.
I just I knew it was the right thing to do. Which one is worse, Which one
For,
would a person prefer?
for
What
me,
do you think?
I think it was start to, in my marriage, I was fully honest and devoted to my husband. In my first marriage, because of all the abuse and me leaving, but yet I was still married. But I would rather for him to had came and told me. I really would rather for him to just came and told me. What he did come and say to me was that I'm not happy with you, not the marriage, but you didn't tell me that it was another woman.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You didn't tell me it was another woman. I started hearing little things, and I started looking at the way that he was dressing. His dress code kind of changed from out of
Mm-hmm.
23 years of marriage. But I would rather, son, for him to have came and told me than for me to find out in the street with the street committee.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
really would have.
yeah. Yeah.
I could have
And that
prepared myself better. I could have really prepared myself better for the chatter and all the talking and all this stuff than to come out to be hearing it from the street committee that my husband was cheating on. When I found out that he was cheating and had another woman and engaged while he was married to me.
what?
Yeah.
Not engaged.
He was engaged. He was engaged to the woman while he was still married when I didn't even know. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people like, airing out dirt now. I done wrote books about this. So it ain't airing out dirty laundry. And my thing is that was part of my healing process. It was part of my healing process. So yes, I'm talking about it because it happened. It did
Mm-hmm.
happen. And the thing is, we want to keep silent about it when everybody else knew about it but you.
Yeah. 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 And see, the thing is, and I agree with you, when you discover that thing, when you have to be a detective or it just show up in your face, that is a painful, hurting thing.
Yes.
Because you didn't, I don't care how much you say you love me, you cared about me, you didn't have enough decency, enough respect, enough love for me to forget, not enough love for me to tell me,
Right.
but you didn't care enough about me to tell me before you did it, because there
Right.
was another option.
Right.
You could have said, I'm not happy in this marriage, whatever your thing is, and say, I want to leave this marriage. I'm out of here, and go do whatever it is that you're going to do, but play by the rules, get your divorce, and then go live your best life. But no, what you did is, in a lot of instances, you went shopping to see if you could find something better. And once you thought you did, then you came and tell me, or I had to
Right.
find out. And then you play it nonchalant. But at least if you tell me, that tell me something. Either,
Right.
even if that's something that it tells me is that you got tired of living your lie, it tells me something.
Absolutely.
Because there's a
Absolutely.
lot of situations where people would have never even known had the person not told them. Now, for those of us who are children of God, This is the blessed thing about God is God will not allow you to continue to suffer and be mistreated, and eventually he'll deal with it. He'll
Right.
bring it to your attention. He'll make sure it gets put out there.
Yeah, he will. He'll bring it
You
to an
know,
open shame.
bring it right on out there, right?
Yes.
And so one of the things that people often look at from an affair is they think that all affairs are equal. So when we go back to this song, As We Lay, originated by Shirley Murdoch, redid by Kelly Price, we see where two individuals got caught up in their situation, got caught up in their feelings, got caught up in their selfishness, and they had that moment where they slept the night away. They forgot that what they had going on. Now, see, I got to pull these lyrics up because I want to go by through these lyrics.
Go through the lyrics.
Because I think we look at this song and it's this cautionary tale. And she I love the way she says morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
The sun had to tell on them.
Yes.
Because see what you did in the dark came to the light. The reality showed up. And we slept the night away. And she says something real important. It happened. Now we can't turn back the hands of time.
Right.
We've stolen this moment. But we forgot one simple fact. We both, not just one.
Right.
We both belong to someone else as we slept the night away.
So they both was married.
They both was with somebody. They were both married, they was both dating, they was something, but they both were not happy in their relationship and they came together. Here's something that I found out. People find common ground to cheat. Now there's 6 different types of infidelity. I'm gonna boil it down to 2, but there's 6 types. There's emotional, there's physical. Now with the internet, there's cyber affairs. People never see each other, but they having virtual sex. There's one night stands, right? There's the romantic affair, where people really seeing these two right here in this song. They had a romantic affair. They had gotten so caught up in their feelings and emotion. It wasn't just purely physical. Because see, when you go to sleep beside somebody, there's a little more there.
Right.
You got some trust going on.
Right.
Then there's the revenge affair. You did it to me, now I'm gonna get you back. Now, Shirley said in this song, a new day brings reality that we must go our separate ways.
Uh-huh.
And she acknowledges, but what a lovely night we had.
Yeah.
Right? And she says, as we shared each other's love, we forgot about all the pain we'd caused as we slept the night away.
All the pain.
Now, something I hear a lot when it comes to infidelity is people say what I call crazy stuff. I didn't mean to hurt you.
Yeah.
What exactly did you think this was going to do? What did you think was going to happen if this got exposed?
Right.
Right? What did you think was going to happen when this came out? What exactly did you think was going to really break down, or how I was going to feel about, like, oh no, I ain't going to hurt. I didn't mean to hurt you. What did you do? Did you accidentally slip into this? See, if you would accidentally slip and fell in between her legs or fell on his penis or something like that, then you didn't mean to hurt me.
Right.
But very rarely does infidelity happen without a plan.
Yeah, I call it premeditated.
Premeditated.
Premeditated, right? Yeah.
Premeditated.
Absolutely.
And this is the thing um about the I'm trying to find another song I want to go through. This is the thing about the premeditation, with the exception of, and somebody finna get upset with me. They finna jump on me. But they gonna jump on me.
Oh well.
You
I
could
mean,
see somebody. I could see a situation, and I'm not giving somebody an excuse, because you still got to go and deal with how you end up in this situation. But I
gotta
could see
do it.
somebody, and this happens a lot with people who travel a lot and that kind of stuff. You down there at the bar, you lonely, they lonely. Now you'll put yourself in a situation where you thought you could be stronger than you actually can be, but you're on that liquid courage.
Right.
And now you find yourself in a situation that you truly didn't intend to find yourself in. I'm not giving that person an excuse.
Right.
I'm just simply saying I understand that you a series of bad decisions led you into that situation. But for all other infidelity, you making a choice. Even revenge infidelity, you're making a choice. You are premeditating it, as you said, Mom. You are
Absolutely.
premeditating that
Absolutely.
thing and saying, "Look at here, I'm finna do this," because you have all the opportunities not to do it, but you
And
make a
son,
choice.
and son, when we premeditate, let me say this: when it's
Uh-huh.
premeditation, because my lifestyle out in the world, so I understand premeditation because you had to make plans where you was going.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to make plans where you was going. You had to have planned out certain things. And so number one, if you married, if you're married, we want to talk about marriage. If you're married, you had to make plans, and you had to make sure you go to a place where you just think nobody would know that you know you slipping into, I remember used to slip into a hotel, and I was messing with the married man, and I'm looking over my shoulder. I'm scared somebody may be at the desk that know one of us. And so, I mean, when it comes to all that, you premeditated. So, when somebody get ready to premeditate or murder someone, they have to have a plan. They
Yes,
just
ma'am.
don't just all of a sudden jump up and go and murder someone. You had a plan. You had
Mm-hmm.
made that choice. Here we go back again. There was a
Uh-huh.
choice that you made, amen. And one of the things I always talk about, you gave an ear to that man or that woman.
Yes, ma'am.
You
Yes,
gave an
ma'am.
ear to that man or that woman, and all of a sudden, amen, it sounded so good. And the saddest thing is when you learn that, you done slept the night away, you learn that that man ain't gave you no more than your husband did or your wife
Yeah.
did.
Yep.
They
And
may
I'll
have
say,
presented it in a different package.
yep, no more. And this is what I will say. See, you know me, I get transparent and vulnerable. Um, I've been the other man, even if just for one night.
Right.
I've been that dude. Now, I give you all of my justifications on why I was on dude. Both instances, the wife, and I'm gonna give y'all. I got to give y'all some context. Oh, I knew the relationship GPT. He too good. No, this was before I got married. This is matter of fact. Matter of fact, with one time, the lady could have probably been um brought up on charges of child molestation because I was 16, 17 years old. She's a grown woman. And on the other instance, I'm just a young knucklehead. 19, I wasn't even 20 then, I don't think. 19, maybe 20. Maybe 20. And in both instances, they had trash husbands. And I thought, shoot, I was doing God a favor being the judge. Can I be real? Can I be real with you for a
Be
minute?
real.
I'm thinking I'm doing God a judge, being a weapon for God because I'm helping them get their revenge. I'm
Right.
helping them get a little bit of get back, right? They brokenhearted from what their husband did. One guy done got another baby on his wife, and the other guy was just straight trash to his wife. So here I am thinking I got something going on, doing something. Thank you, baby. My daughter had to bring me something to drink, but I'm thinking I got something going on, and I'm a young man. Look at me. I'm pulling these grown women.
Mm-hmm.
And now, with one instance, the one lady is just truly we was all around a bonfire, grown lady. She decided she wanted to do something. I was the move that she wanted to make that night. And right then and there, grown woman in her car, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, and then you see him, you the dude, you thinking you done something at that young age, and he riding around, you sitting in the seat that I just did whatever I did with your wife. Okay. Arrogance. Pure arrogance on my behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Then you come to the other young lady and we work together. And she always flirting. She married. And I'm like, girl, no. You married, you this and that. I ain't fooling with you. Right?
Right.
Oh, you scared. Oh, you can't tell a young man he's scared.
Right.
But still, you married. So one day she caught me wrong. She like, well, he going out of town, and I found out he going out with his little chick. You don't think I know this and this and that, but this one weekend I ain't gonna sit at home balled up crying over him. I'm coming to see you. Come on. What I'm able to process now that I couldn't process then was that young lady didn't want anything meaningful from me.
Absolutely.
It was not the sex. What was, because I grew up in a matriarchal family, I knew how to treat women. What she liked more, she arranged, like you said, premeditated, Mom. Mm-hmm. She arranged transportation to get dropped off and all of that, and she spent the whole weekend with me at my sister's house.
Jesus.
And what she enjoyed was us doing what we did, but after we did what we did, I just laid there with her. And she was able to lay her head on my chest. That's what she was missing.
Intimacy.
Right?
Yeah.
I gave you the illusion of intimacy. Now, after that, she wanted to keep something going. She was like, it wasn't even about the sex. It's just how I felt when I was with you.
Right.
Girl, I ain't finna do this because I'm going to have to kill your husband.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to kill your husband, or you're going to have to kill me.
Right.
I'm not doing that as wrong as out of order. But here she had done developed emotions and attachment.
Absolutely. Her soul done got tired now.
Yeah. And I ain't even finna go there with you. Right? I'm a young man. I'm not trying to get caught up in that. Now, if she was a single young lady, we might have been. Now, she was still significantly older than me, probably by about 10 years. But if I use a single young lady, we might have hollered.
Right.
But I'm not doing this.
Right.
I still had enough decency, if you would, about myself. Say, I'm not doing this. This is not the thing I'm going to do. So it brings me, in telling that second story, brings me to a different point. Because I'm not proud of any of that. I don't see any of what I just said in a boastful manner.
Me either.
Right?
Me either.
What it brought me to is something that I would understand many, many, many years later. If you had to forgive one, and it's different for men and women. A man could forgive his wife for a physical infidelity more than he can forgive her for emotional. Now, depending on the nature and the character of his wife, he knows that no man that's just spitting random game gonna get to her, which means that if he got to her, even for the physical moment, he touched her heart, and he spent a lot of time getting there, and she created the time for him to get there.
Yes, sir.
Now that's more difficult for us to forgive because most women who are decent women, it's going to take you some time to get to their heart for them to open up their bodies.
Right.
We ain't talking about women that's just kind of deemed as loose and got other stuff going on. But you're not going to get there with just some weak game. You're going to have to wear her down, which means
Right.
that she start listening to you with her heart. Now, women, it seems in the conversations I've had with women, are more willing to forgive. And I'm trying to think through this. They're more willing to forgive the physical because they know, like, if he slept with multiple different chicks, let me put it this way, she gonna have an issue within herself of self-esteem. Why you got to have all these women? Why I can't be enough? But if it's just different women, this is what I've heard. I'm not a woman, so I don't know. And you can check me on this. That it's like, okay, you didn't have just one, but if he locked into just one, oh, what did you like more about her than you liked about me that you kept going
Absolutely.
to her?
Absolutely. Because I dealt with that. I dealt with that after my divorce. You know, I dealt with that after my divorce because it was so much intertwined in my marriage. It was so much intertwined, and I gave my whole self to it. I
Mm-hmm.
gave my whole self to my marriage. I walked around on pins and needles about things that he had, he was doing, and it wasn't physical. We never had that physical, well, hands, all of that. But the thing is that, afterwards, and I looked at the woman, and I'm like, what did she have that I didn't have?
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, and I'm not boasting, 9 times out of 10, you always look better than the other woman. So it didn't have anything to do with looks.
Mm-hmm.
So you start questioning yourself. What
Mm-hmm.
is it that he saw in the other person that he did not see in me after 23 years of marriage?
Yes. And it becomes this internal thing.
Yeah, it's a
It's this
battle.
internal thing.
Yeah.
And see, that's why I want to get into the aftermath. See, after you discover infidelity, and I did a video on this the other day, the first thing you should not do is make a decision. Now, again, I told you, dating, engaged, and married, I'm gonna give you different advice. If you dating and y'all hadn't had any discussions about marriage, salute, I'm out of there. But if y'all reach the point where you're thinking about getting married,
Right.
you're seriously considering marriage,
Right.
then let's explore why we considered something as serious as marriage, but we ended up dealing with infidelity. Okay.
Let's deal with it.
So I wanted some popped up on my screen. I'm like, what in the world? So I want to get to, like, okay, so if you're just dating and infidelity happened, get out of there. You just get out. Just leave that be.
See
Right?
you.
Just
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you are considering marriage and y'all got that far in the discussion, have a
Yes.
discussion. How do we consider something as serious as marriage, but we cheating on each other?
Can't do it.
Let's see if there's something that's still there before we call it quits.
Absolutely.
But then if you married, okay, before we walk, because it's more than just packing up your bags and leaving, is there anything left for us to salvage in this? Is it possible for us to salvage this relationship? So now, when we get down to talking about the aftermath of it, don't make an immediate decision. Don't make decisions out of your emotions. For you who are the wounded person, don't make a decision. Again, I ain't talking to y'all dating folks. Don't make a decision Get out of your emotions and look at it. Because see, I'm going to say something that's going to offend some people,
Right.
who are the people that were actually cheated on. I'm finna offend y'all in just a minute. I'm finna offend y'all. But don't make any decisions in your emotion. For the person who did the cheating, you clearly don't make good decisions. You don't make no decisions in your emotion of the moment either. Because
Right.
you already have made a bad decision. That's why we here.
Right.
After you get through the process of getting through the emotion of the discovery, after you yelled and cried and screamed and up the strap and did whatever else you was gonna do and thought you needed to do, now sit with it. What happened? Because here's the thing: whether y'all stay together or not, you still got to heal from the trauma of the infidelity.
Yes.
And whether you like it or not, that person may be part of your healing process, whether you stay with them or not.
Right.
They can help expedite your healing, whether you stay with them or not. So now you get to a place and you got to sit with it and say, how did infidelity get into my house? I told y'all, Genesis, the first 3 chapters tell you a whole lot about marriage if you listen.
Yes.
See, infidelity get in your house when you start letting external influences whisper
In your ear.
Hold on. What's the external influences? External influences, see, snakes got all kind of whispers. External influences can be society telling you, oh, your spouse gonna be all right, build that career. Oh, okay. You ain't taking care of them, somebody gonna take care of. External influences can be the music that you listening to. External influences can be the friends that you hang around that don't honor, that are not decent and don't honor marriage. Right? See, one of the things that people don't understand, when you get married, you have to do an assessment. And when you do an assessment, you have some friends that you love dearly, but some of those friends are not going to be healthy for your marriage in their current state. Sips tea. Some of your friends are going to be a negative influence to your marriage. Even if some of your friends, because you think I'm saying some of your single friends. No, some of your friends that are married.
Absolutely.
Who don't honor their marriage are going
Absolutely.
to be a negative influence to your marriage. And when I say be a negative influence to your marriage, I want you to understand something. I mean that, and they're not honoring their marriage. I don't mean they're necessarily cheating. But they talk wrong to their husband. They talk wrong to their wife. They disregard them. They selfish. And you sitting over there thinking you missing out when your spouse asks you where you're going. You ain't going to control me. That is not about control. It's about respect and love. Absolutely. It's about protection. Huh? It's about protection. So if you want to have a healthy relationship, a healthy marriage, be aware of the external influences. Some of your friends might be in the wrong season of their life to be around your fruitful marriage. They full of cow manure, but it ain't healthy for your garden. I want you to understand that. I want you to get about those external influences. Beware of the snakes that are whispering in your garden. Your garden is your marriage. Your garden is that relationship you're looking to build into that marriage. Beware of the snakes that's whispering. There's always a snake that's whispering in the garden. And I ain't even talking about the snake that's out there in the mall saying, hey, what's up, little mama? You beautiful. I like something a lady said most recently. I said, boy, if more women had this doggone mindset. She said a man was like, oh, little mama, you know, he talking, he spitting games. She said he's an attractive dude or whatever, but he was just complimenting her. She said, if you thought a compliment was going to get me to throw away my marriage, you must not have known the type of woman you was dealing with. Well, is my marriage perfect right now? No, it ain't. But it's going to take a whole lot more than a compliment and some money and a nice car and some nice jeans and a nice look for me to throw that away. I'm not throwing my marriage away over no curves.
No, I always say this, you know, whatever you got to say, I can look in the mirror every morning and tell myself, you know, and be confident in that. And I would like to also, you know, ask and on another way, what if that man or that woman was trying to communicate? I mean, they may have not came out and just said it, but what if they was trying to communicate with their significant others and neither one of them heard? Because, you know, in some of them, you know, you be trying to talk, you be trying to communicate, but the male or the female didn't listen with the heart of what the woman was saying or what the man was saying.
Ooh, now you finna get me to my next point, Mom. See, I love you. You be setting me up so beautiful. See, y'all, that's my mother, that's my spiritual mom over there. I love you. Because the next thing that happened in the garden that caused the infidelity that happened, because yeah, there was infidelity that happened in that garden.
Right.
Eve stepped out on Adam with a snake, and Adam stepped out on God with an Eve.
Absolutely.
Silence. Adam stood there and heard the external conversation and didn't say nothing. Silence. See, when you let improper silence reign in your home, when you give up on trying to communicate because you think they just don't get it, silence will set you up for infidelity.
Yeah.
Cause I done told y'all before, I just need to get me, I'm gonna go on and make me a t-shirt. Nobody cheers louder for your spouse than the side rooster or the side chick. Side chicks, ladies, are professional cheerleaders.
You better say it.
They professional cheerleaders. Side roosters, you know how they the male cheerleaders, they hold a woman up with one hand or whatever.
Right.
He is ready to hold her up. When we allow silence to dominate our homes, you're setting yourself up for the whisper of the snake to be louder.
Absolutely.
And this is the thing. This is the thing. Can we get clear on what communication is? Because just because we talking don't mean we communicating.
Absolutely.
Just because we are talking doesn't mean we are communicating. Communication means a message was sent and properly received.
Right.
See, right now we're communicating because I'm sending this. Every time I talk, it's sending a signal up, and it's being received on the other side where she can hear, where mom can hear, and where you out there on live stream can hear. That is communication. We assume, they say the biggest mistake about communication is assuming that it has happened.
Assuming. We
don't take the time to confirm that the person actually received the intended message. We communicate like we text. If you want to get a misunderstanding real quick, send a badly worded text, and somebody gonna get it wrong.
Right.
Somebody gonna get it wrong. So we get to this place in the aftermath of infidelity. It done showed up. And we're in that Shirley Murdoch moment. We have stole it. Anthony Hamilton has a song called A Broken Man or A Broken Man, one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
And they were in the middle of the engagement. He canceled everything. He like, nah, friends don't send pictures like that. And he had this question of, will I love again? Will I ever love again? Will I ever feel the way that I felt for her? Until then, I'll just be a broken man. In the aftermath of infidelity, and let me go ahead and piss the people off, it is easy to blame the cheater.
Right.
But the one who was cheated on also bears some responsibility.
Yes, sir.
You had something to do with getting cheated on.
Absolutely.
Now I'm gonna go ahead. I got security. So I ain't mad at y'all. Y'all go ahead. Send some people this way. I got security. So I ain't worried about y'all. But it's one of the I would tell you it's not an easy lesson to learn, but it's a necessary lesson to learn. So why are you saying that to us? Us people that are out there that's been cheated on, we ain't never done nothing wrong. Why are you saying that to us? Well, I'm glad you asked the question. So either, because we good at this, y'all. Let me go and piss some more people off. We good at this. We are good at getting with people and then asking God to bless it after the fact. You saw all of the indicators that wasn't really who you need to be with. They might have been a good person, but you might have married your assignment.
Right.
You might have married your assignment.
Right.
You weren't supposed to marry them. You was just supposed to be there for a season of their life. You married your assignment. Now you upset when your assignment is acting up.
Right.
And so when we come to you being the problem, part of the problem may be you chose wrong. You had all the warnings, but you ignored them because we in love.
Absolutely.
And love is a horrible reason to get married.
Absolutely.
Love is a horrible reason to open your legs.
Absolutely.
It ain't what it is, fam. So you get down to you, and there's a lot of people who believe that you should get married for love. That is, if that's the only reason you got for getting married, you are dumb. I still got security. So now, the other reason why it could be your fault is, and maybe I shouldn't use the word fault. The reason you have a role to play in this is because it goes back to something you said, Mom. Maybe they didn't hear. Maybe you didn't take the time to really listen. Maybe you were too selfish. Marriage is not hard work. I know you heard that. I know all of the popular relationship people out there done told you marriage is hard work. They lying to you. Marriage is not the hard work. The hard work is stopping or becoming unselfish. If you learn to become unselfish in marriage, you find out that marriage is very easy. But becoming unselfish, when you've been selfish most of your life, and we all have.
Yeah.
We all are used to putting us first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So becoming unselfish is what makes marriage feel like it's hard work. But marriage itself is not hard work. So now, maybe I have put myself in a position where I wasn't listening or doing my part. Let me tell you what that looks like. If you have a wife, and I have this conversation, have had this conversation a lot. It's some men I've talked to, they were like, man, my wife won't cook. My wife won't serve, won't give me fix me a plate. I ain't got none of them problems. My wife gonna cook. She gonna get upset with me if I go in there and try and fix my own plate. Unless she really tired, she don't want me fixing my own plate. Now, some of that is she know if it's vegetables in there, I'm gonna put fewer vegetables on my plate than she would put on my plate. But that's a whole nother discussion. But my I don't have those particular problems. But if all your husband is asking you to do is, babe, could you occasionally cook a meal? And you don't put no effort into that.
No love.
In the side chick is doggone near a professional chef. Because he see her leftover lunch that she bring to work. He like, ooh, girl, boy, your wife don't cook for you like this? My wife don't cook like that. Okay. You setting yourself up. Now, I want y'all to understand something. I want y'all to hear, I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. A person who cheats, they made a decision. So, and as mom said, they planned it. Mm-hmm. So a person who cheats, I'm not saying that you are the reason they cheated. I'm not saying that you helped them make that decision.
Right.
Because they could come home, a man could come home and beat his wife for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and she go out there and cheat. She still made a decision because she had other options. So I'm not saying he beat her him beating her for breakfast, lunch, and dinner is what made her go cheat. However, what I am saying is, by him beating her for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it made it easier in her mind to say, this is a better option than what I'm going through now. He made it a little easier. He greased the skids.
Right.
So you have a role and say, what could I have done that would have insulated my, right now I'm sitting in my studio, and if I could show y'all, I can't switch my camera, but if I could show you, I have insulation in the wall because I'm soundproofing my studio. I ain't got just regular insulation. I got what they call wool rock. It's real thick and dense so that as sound comes, it'll go in and it'll absorb the sound. And even as I'm in the studio, when I finish with it, it will deaden the sound and it will protect and keep noise out. Some of y'all need to soundproof your doggone marriage.
Oh, that's good.
Some of y'all got cracks and holes and crevices and poor insulation in your marriage. And I'm telling you, there are signs around your relationship that are telling you you need to soundproof your marriage. You need to go and get some different material to soundproof your marriage and to insulate your marriage. And the number one insulation, I'm going to say it because I'm a preacher, is the absolute word of God. If you want to soundproof your marriage, one of the first insulators you need is the word of God. And I ain't talking about this religious shouting in tongues and spinning around in circles, because there's a whole bunch of first ladies sitting on that pew with nice hats, and they done spin around and they done shouted and they done danced and they done spoken tongues and they done prayed and they done poured out a gallon of olive oil and they still got cheated on.
Yes, sir. And still getting cheated on.
Because they didn't soundproof their marriage, Mom.
Absolutely.
You understand? They ain't soundproof their marriage. See, when I started soundproofing, my studio, I went and did some research. Y'all better pick up a book and read it together and talk about it. I started doing some research. And what I found out was not only did I need the level of insulation that I needed, but the man also showed me that you got to make sure you seal up all the cracks, because you could have a whole lot of insulation, but if you got cracks where sound can bleed through, if your door ain't sealed well, If your windows are not sealed well, you can do all the insulation you want to, but until you seal those little bitty cracks, what does the Bible say? It says the small foxes destroy the
That's all
vine. So
right.
until
Yeah.
you seal the little bitty cracks, the things that you think are insignificant, the things that you think they shouldn't get that bothered about, until you seal those things, your marriage is not soundproof and that external noise is going to get in.
Hmm.
I want you to understand that now. I want you to get it. I want you to understand. He told me, look for the little cracks. Make sure all those, get some foam and some caulking and seal those little cracks. But then he said something else. And when you start putting the drywall over the insulation, he said, put a membrane. There's a membrane that they sell in there that will further deaden the noise. But if you don't have that, at a minimum, don't get the 1/2-inch drywall. Get the thickest drywall they have, which is a 5/8 drywall. Because it's thicker and more dense, it's going to help block out more sound. But oh my God, nobody told me how heavy that drywall was. See, you want to soundproof your relationship and soundproof your marriage, but you want you want it to be light work. You want it to be easy work. But if you're going to properly soundproof it, guess what? You're going to have to toss some stuff around. You're going to have to lift some stuff. See, some of the pieces I had to put on the ceiling is 5/8 drywall. It's real thick. It's real heavy. Wore me out. I had to get my whole family in here to try and help and get it pushed up on the ceiling. You're going to need some help. Stop talking about what go on in my house, stay in my house. You need to find some wisdom. But I thought you just said about having external noise. That's why you need the word of God so you can have some discernment on who you can talk to.
Absolutely.
Who can I talk to? Y'all, God dog it. Escape comes to mind. Who can I run to fill this empty space? Who can I run to?
Yeah.
It's some people sitting in their marriage, sleeping right next to somebody they'll tell the world they love, but in their mind, they sitting there talking about something. Who can I run to? As I stand here contemplating on the right thing to decide. Will, come on. Y'all better talk to them prophets that's called escape. Who can I run to? If you're sitting in your relationship and your marriage still talking about something, who can I run to? You are not soundproof. So now the infidelity that showed up and the house is noisy.
Yeah.
And you got a decision to make. And here's the thing. You think that you're going to run up out of that marriage and you're going to go find somebody else? And you didn't realize you took half of the problem with you? And it's called you. It's that person that's in the mirror. That's half the problem in any relationship. Come on.
And you said something. Let me, because I just heard you say, now you want to leave the marriage and go find somebody else. But what happened to the person that the infidelity took place with? What happened to you said now you're going to run and go find somebody else. But what happened to the person that the infidelity took place with?
Yeah. Well, here go the thing, Mom. This the thing about infidelity. It's always a lie. Infidelity never tells you the truth.
It never tells you the truth.
It's always a lie. You can play with it if you want to. Infidelity is always a lie. See, when I only got to deal with you for enough hours to part your leg, slide on your pole, do whatever we gonna do, I can make the projects look like a mansion. because I only got to deal with you for a little bit.
True.
But when I got to deal with you all the time, when I get to need move past, as TD Jakes used to call it, your representative, and get to meet your evil twin. See, Mom, they gotta, when they get past Janet and get to meet Louise.
Whoa.
Right?
Yes, sir.
See, if you got the mind, now this is the thing. And I'm gonna go back to what you've always shared. See, Louise brought them in the room. They was intrigued by Louise, and they was happy to deal with Louise in the short term, because Louise gonna get a stool and she gonna do all that. They ready for Louise, but they couldn't live with Louise.
Right about it.
You got to live with Louise. See, when you got to live with the other side of who I am, when you got to live with Black, that's a different part of me you got to deal with. That's a different part of me. But I can keep him tame for a little bit. I can fool you up.
Right.
But that fool eventually got to come out.
Yes.
And see, you've been messed up your house. Listen. Let me put y'all inside the minds of men. Men don't leave their families for tail. They leave their families for peace. Or the perception of it.
The perception of it.
Men leave they houses for the perception of peace. Women will often leave their homes for the perception that someone is further along in the process of where they want to be. You lack patience as women.
Don't want to worry.
And men lack persistence. If I want peace, blessed are the peacemakers. That means I gotta do the blessed are the peacemaker. Don't mean you just lay down. It means I fight the necessary battles to bring forth peace. And some of those battles start in me.
Right. You're right.
As much as it pertains to you, be at peace with all men, but that has to start with you. Be at peace with you first. Most of your relationships are going sideways because you are not at peace with you.
Right.
But you keep throwing it on them, and they're getting tired of you throwing it on them. And that person outside the house ain't throwing it on them. That person outside the house see that he goes to homework in church. That person outside the house sees that she cooks. That person outside the house see all that, but they don't see the other parts of it. And that person is going on the outside.
Right. Absolutely.
Looking for peace.
Yeah.
For a man, he's looking for peace. Women, you're looking for additional comfort. Whatever that may be, whatever that is represented. You know, I've never heard a man say to a woman, I outgrew you, as the reason why he left her. I've only ever heard women say that.
Wow. Even in a marriage?
Even in a marriage.
It's so common. It's so common in the church, I grew you. But even in a marriage, it's what they're saying that the male or the woman say that I grew the husband, and that's why.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've never heard a man say it. I've always heard women say it.
Wow.
I've never heard a man say that he outgrew the woman. Ever. That tell you something. And while I'm at it, I mean, I done already text and got more security. So while I'm at it, ladies, y'all do not mature faster than men. Physically, you do. Even mentally, you may. But emotionally, you don't.
Not emotional. And that's the truth there. Now, I got tested that one.
Y'all don't mature as fast as men emotionally. And the reason why I say that is, when a woman has an emotional outburst, as long as she don't kill nobody, society is much more lenient on her. But when men react in emotion, society is much more harsh on us. So we have to learn early to control our emotions. That's why they have so many violent sports for men to participate in. I get a place to let out my aggression. But now the world is reprogramming y'all as ladies to start to carry an emotional weight like men. I saw something the other day, and I'm sure it's pretty fun, but it's a camp where the women go out in the woods and they beating sticks on the ground and they raging, or it's like a rage workshop or something. They just get out there and break stuff and they letting out all their aggression. Women don't typically have that type of aggression. What's wrong? What's going on? And I want to take the moment to say this, because I feel like our black women get a lot of beef. You get a lot of weight on your shoulders. We a lot gets thrown your way. And not saying that it doesn't happen for us as black men, and I'll come to that. But I want to let y'all know, we're not intimidated by your strength and your independence. Matter of fact, we depend on it. And we are sorry that you have had to feel like you had to have breast and nuts.
That's good.
We're sorry that you had to feel that way. We're sorry that you feel like you have to demonstrate that you're as strong as the men you walk beside. We apologize for that.
That's good.
Because that is where we have failed you as men. That is where we have made y'all feel like you're not enough. And y'all are finally buying the lie that you're not enough. There are people out here paying thousands of dollars to have the curves that black women naturally possess, and y'all are still buying into that you need more. And some of that is due to the poor decision making of black men not being faithful to black women. And we apologize for that.
That's good.
And I can tell you this. Oh, I saw somebody say we have to be extra strong, especially as single mothers. I'm gonna come to that prophetic voice. I'm coming to that. I that wasn't on my agenda, but you brought it up. But I also want to tell you this. A black man will never compete with you. If you start out from a spot of competition, I might be finna get in trouble with my mom right now, but I'm finna, every now and again, she let me say something on the air to her, and I'm gonna say it now, and I'm gonna see if I get in trouble. Mom, I never want to hear you say again that you're an alpha female.
What?
An alpha female.
What's that?
You said it before. You ain't said it in a long time now.
Tell me what alpha female is.
An alpha female is a dominant woman. So when you have an alpha male, he's that dominant man, and you have an alpha female or somebody that call themselves an alpha female, they're like, I'm a dominant woman. Here's why I say that to you. I learned an early lesson in leadership way back when. It said the first time you have to say you're something is the first time you admit that you're not. Your actions say who you are. Walk in the confidence. Walk in the confidence that you are the woman that you are, and it'll attract that. But the reason I say don't say that is it engenders in a man's mind something that you might not even be really saying. He like, oh, if I go with alpha female, I'm finna have to compete with her. I ain't gonna be able to lead my house.
Could I say something? Because
yes, ma'am.
I didn't know what the alpha meant, the dominant part.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was and I think I don't think I was saying that to say it about me. It was what men's was saying, because
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like I was able to take care of myself. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I was able to take care. It seems like I was
Right.
able to take care of me. Let's say it again. It seems like I was able to take care of myself. You know, I was, you know, they when they see me move, I'm doing, and I'm pretty much
Mm-hmm.
doing. So maybe I think that in that phase, I was saying it because it was being said
Mm-hmm.
about me, and maybe I verbalized it that way coming across that,
You
but
took it
I
on.
never
It's
thought
like
I
you
was
kind of took
after
on what
female.
the label. It's almost like you
Yeah,
took on the label. Not that
yeah,
you were saying, I got you, I
absolutely.
got you.
Okay.
And that's where I want you to be, because I want you to understand, and you know this, and this is something you didn't even taught me. We'll let people put labels on us. That might be how
Uh-uh.
they feel about us,
Uh-uh.
but that don't make it true.
No.
Because the one thing that I want, because, and I want to give a major shout out to you. And when y'all see this pop off, y'all need to be a part of it. The Single Ladies Academy that my spiritual
Yes.
mom get ready to launch,
Oh God, yes.
because we gonna get this right, because she understands the trials, the errors. You're not going to get a more authentic person to share with you how they have succeeded and how they have failed.
Right.
You need to make sure when she dropped that course that y'all be ready to sign up for it,
Yes.
because it's going to be something phenomenal. Okay? Because see, when you are taking care of yourself as a woman, yeah, there is a perception that, oh, she got it all together, because that's the leading thing that's out here, mom, and especially in this younger generation. These women, I got X number of degrees, I got this, I got that. Let me just tell you who I am. Who I am is a woman of God. I
Yeah.
love the Lord, and I'm
Yeah.
looking for a godly man.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to know about me, you'll find through conversation.
Right.
How about that?
Right.
Right? But getting back to infidelity, and I know we've been on here a little over an hour, and I'm finna wind down. I'm finna wind down. It's a prophetic voice that said something. I'm gonna get back to infidelity. She said
Right.
we have to be extra strong, especially as single mothers. And I agree with that. When you find yourself as a single mother, my mom was single for a while before she met my stepfather. You have to be strong. But I'm gonna say something else to you, ladies. You got to be smart. You got to be mindful. A man who has not tilled the ground is not worthy of planting the seed. What do I mean by tilling the ground? I mean that a man who has not put himself in a position where he has said, I'm going to commit to you by way of marriage,
Right.
is not worthy to plant a seed where he gets a child in a return back. If he has not invested in you for marriage, a child is not going to bring him into marriage, and it's not going to keep him. A child ain't going to keep him, because we conditioned to pay child support at this point. Conditioned to run from the law if we don't want to pay it. I need men and women to be more wise of where you plant your seed at, where you plant your pole at, man.
Absolutely.
Because when it comes down to, even with this infidelity, when we start talking about infidelity, we start going deep on this. The aftermath of infidelity is, so we discovered it. We're deciding. We're making decisions. I want y'all to think about, if you choose to stay, please please find out why you are staying. Are you staying because the broken you doesn't believe you deserve better? Or are you staying because you, not in fantasy, not talking about potential, but you see a sincere opportunity with this person where y'all can make, catch this, where y'all can make each other better? Can we, I want you, if you're married or you're dating seriously with the intention of marriage, I'm finna give y'all some homework and then I'm finna get out your way. And Tanisha, I see your comment. You're right. Nothing can keep a man or a woman that don't want to be kept. And might I say this for any of the men that's listening to this now or might listen to this later, women are better cheaters than men.
You right about it.
Women are better cheaters than men. Just want the brethren to know that. They better at it than us. And they catching up on the infidelity side. The statistics, y'all closing the gaps, lady. It used to be 14 to 30, and now it's like 33 to 28. Y'all closing the gap.
Wow.
So, but I'm gonna give y'all some homework. Now, if you've been through our pre-marriage education, you already know part of this homework. Maybe not. I don't know if we teach this in our pre-marriage education, but I'm finna give y'all some homework. And then I'm gonna be done. If you are seriously dating someone that you are considering marrying,
come on,
or you are married,
come on,
I want you to ask and answer this simple question. What value does this person add to my life?
Come on.
I need you to go beyond the superficial.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to go beyond they're a good provider. I need you to go beyond tangible things. Because see, here's the thing about a man. Everything tangible that a woman can add to a man's life, if he got enough money, he can pay for it.
Right.
He wants somebody that'll turn the bedroom out, he can pay for it. He wants somebody that'll cook and clean for him, he can pay for it. If he wants some companionship to go on vacations with him, he can pay for it. Everything that a woman can provide that is superficial, a man can pay for. That also goes to everything that a woman can get from a man. She can pay for it too if she got the money, but y'all ain't built to. A woman is appalled if she had to pay for sex. A woman would be appalled if she had to pay another woman to come in and cook and clean for her. She'll feel less than a woman because that's how she's been raised in society. You're not built to pay for the things that men have been taught they have to pay for. It's not the same. So I want you to move beyond the superficial. Let me give you this question another way in case you're struggling. And what value does this person add to my life? And then ask them, baby, what value do I add to your life?
Yeah, it's okay to ask.
Right?
Yes.
Baby, how do I make you better? That's the other way of asking this question is, how do I make you better? And see, I did an unofficial experiment in this, and I got shocked. I asked some women this, and I asked some men this, and I expected the men to say, "Oh, she good in the bed, she cooks, she cleans, she a good mother." I expected that from the men, and I expect the women to go deep. I found the exact opposite. Women could not tell me how they valued their husband beyond what he provided. But every man could tell me how they valued their wife beyond what she did for him. So I can give you an example of how this question, how the answers to these questions supposed to sound. Here's here's how my wife, here's how my wife adds value to my life. Yeah, she cooks, she does all those things. That's not how she
Mhm.
adds value to my life. My wife adds value to um my wife adds value to my life. She makes me a better person because she slows me down. I don't mean that in a negative sense. Now, sometimes I
Right,
get irritated at how she slowed me down, but she
right.
slows me down. She makes me reflect and think differently because I have to slow down. My wife also makes me a better person because she softens my rough edges. If the world had to experience Damon without Tamika as a guard between me and thee, it's a different experience. She makes me a gentler person. She makes me a kinder person. Is sometimes I be wanting to come straight for y'all neck. Y'all don't understand. Y'all get the sanitized version because Tamika said, babe,
Yeah.
honey, right?
Uh-huh.
How do they add value to you? How
Absolutely.
do they make you better? Go and do that little bit of exercise. Now, your feelings might get hurt because your spouse wasn't on here. And then when they give you those superficial examples, or your boyfriend wasn't on here, your girlfriend wasn't on here, and when they give you those superficial answers, you're gonna be a little your feelings gonna be a little hurt because you're gonna be like, shoot, y'all don't even really think I do nothing for you. You don't really value me.
Right.
Now here's the danger of you getting in your feelings about that. That's where the snake will start whispering. Because the snake gonna make you think he value you. Look what he did to Jesus. When he took Jesus, he said, look, just worship me, and I give you all of this. He tried to make Jesus feel like he valued him more than God valued him. See, if you just look at the Bible through marriage, you see a whole bunch of stuff. So go do your homework. Y'all make sure you drop some comments about how the homework turned out. If the homework went sideways and you need to talk to us on the side, you can hit me and mom up, and we'll talk y'all off the ledge through that. So that's that. What's up, mom? I'm done.
I just wanted to talk about, you did the marriage side. Even if you decide to date, be dating, just be extra careful.
Mm-hmm.
Even with that, it's why this person took interest in you,
Uh-huh.
and make sure it wasn't the weave and the makeup and the nails and the clothes. See past all of that and see my heart. And that's one of the things that I experience most of all is when men step to me. They step because they're looking at the hair, they're looking at the nails, they're looking at the makeup, but you have no idea who Janet really is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any idea. So we can't get caught up because, as you say, the men tell you, in my inbox almost every day, I got somebody saying, hey, beautiful, blah, 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 this and blah, blah. But I don't get caught up in that. And that's where a lot of women's with insecurity, low self-esteem, because they need somebody to tell them that. They're in need of being told that they're beautiful because you don't know that you're beautiful already. Your self-esteem, you done been beat down, you done had men that who have not valued you. And so that's where I'm at now. I tell you, I will block a joker in a minute now. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm having to do. You come to me and you don't come to me with the right motives, and having discernment is very important. It's
Mm-hmm.
very important having discernment. And because you don't, and you need somebody to express how beautiful you are, and your shape is nice and blah 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 and all of that. I don't know what's wrong with my life. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, make sure that you're not getting in a relationship with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Make
Hey,
sure. Make sure you're not getting in a relationship with My daddy, I remember when Clary stepped to my daddy. My daddy always used to tell me, not only Clary, but men's in general. He used to say, you can be bad all by yourself. You don't need nobody to help you starve to death.
Mm.
And so we have to be careful and stop being so thirsty. Oh my
Uh-huh.
God. Stop
Yeah.
being so thirsty that you just got to have a man. You
Yeah.
just got, when my clock is ticking. Well, mine probably done stopped. I'm 70 years old. So my clock probably, the batteries probably done ran out, and it's just they just on the wall, and I'm not paying any attention because I can ask Alexis, what time is it?
Uh-huh.
And so we are thirsty women, and we'll go talking about our clock is ticking, and because everybody else getting married, and because everybody else got somebody. But wait on God. I have made some mistakes. Do you hear me? I have made some mistakes of giving all my time and giving all of my, just giving that time to a man, and then to find out this happening, that happened. Listen, if you're talking about dating, make sure just don't get somebody just to be getting somebody and to say that I got a man.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part on dating. On the
Yeah.
part of engage, make sure that when we get engaged, we dedicate ourselves to
Mm-hmm.
the other person. Make sure that we dedicate ourselves. And if you're not ready to be engaged, emotion, people heart, people emotion, and people heart is real.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. Whatever you don't want done to you, don't you do it to somebody else.
Yes.
Whatever you don't want did to you, don't do it to somebody else. If this is not the woman, if this is not the man that you think that you're ready to spend the rest of your life with, stay single.
Sit down and get some rest.
Yeah, but don't hurt. Just don't intentionally, because intentionally hurt is not good. And when you, at least when we premeditate, we done premeditated things in our heart and in our mind, and you got to think about how that's going to affect, as you lay, while you engage, and you may be still tipping around and doing all kind of things. That's the same thing I'm talking about dating. That you telling me what you want. I just had a joker to come to my house and tell me, a joker to come to my house and give me his intent towards me.
Oh,
I
really?
want you to be my only woman.
Oh, really? Hey, listen, I ain't gonna be at no more events getting surprised now.
I just want to have this relationship just with you, and I'm getting ready to run for representative. Yeah, I'm saying it out here. I'm getting ready to run for the Senate and blah, blah, blah. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. That don't impress me. What impressed me is that you look past all of this stuff and you discern my heart, and you make sure because you can learn how to communicate with me. You don't tell me that you want me to be your woman. You want me to be your woman, and then I don't hear from you in a whole week. Guess what I did? He on block.
Go ask him the question, Mom. Say, if I was your woman, what value I'm gonna add to your life, and what value you gonna add to mine? Then listen to the answer.
You know what? I blocked him over a week ago. I don't even want to hear his voice. I'm done. I am done. I mean, because listen, I don't want to play games. I'm too old to be playing games. I'm too old to be playing games. And if you don't value who I am, and that's so good, what value does this person add to my life? You done already showed me what you're going to add to my life. Because you're going to be on the campaign trail. Yeah, huh?
Ah,
You gonna be on the
ah.
campaign trail, and if you done already showed me because you're on the campaign trail, you a whole week done went by. No, listen, women, do not settle. Stop settling because a man can tell you all kind of things and think that you got. I always tell people this, and I mean this. There's always somebody more prettier than you, women. There's always another somebody else that's got a better shape than you. There's always somebody else that you may have an 18, but they can get a 22, 24, 26-inch weave. And I'm just saying, stop playing games, letting men's and women's play games with you. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Whatever you do, my mama told me, always do good because good will overcome evil anytime. And let me say this while I'm in. What
Yes,
you do
ma'am.
to somebody else, Damon said he messed around, with the younger, older women's and all of this. But I got the principle in the Bible that you're going to reap what you sow.
It'll
If
come.
you plant that seed, hear me. When I was out in that world, I planted some seeds. And when you plant seeds, that seed is going to grow. Hear me. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to grow. So be not deceived, for God is not mocked. Whatever you sow, that shall you also reap. So make sure that when you're playing with somebody hard, because if you play with somebody hard, you gonna get played.
Yep.
You gonna get played now. You gonna get played sooner or later. Sooner or later, it may not come quickly. But believe ye me, God's word do not. The old folks used to say, what goes around comes around.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yes.
goes around, what you did to somebody else, sooner or later, it's going to come back on you. And one of the things I like that you said, it may not pop up right now, but eventually, you'll be brought to an open shame.
Yes,
Hear
ma'am.
me. You do not want to be brought to an open shame. Because when God keep warning you not to do it, and you do it anyway, sooner or later, He's gonna allow that very thing. Was it Paul say the thing that I hate the most has come
That's the thing
upon
I
me?
do. Yeah. I, and you know what, Mom? It's a couple of young ladies I know, and I don't know them well, but uh, it's a couple of young ladies that I know that when they were single and they had no sense, they took pride in being the other woman and bragging and dragging it in that man's face, that woman's face, and her
Mm-hmm.
not knowing. But then they got married and couldn't stop looking over their shoulder.
Yeah.
See that sometimes I think the thing that you reap that's worse than actually having the same thing happen is looking over your shoulder constantly, waiting
Got
on
you.
when is it gonna happen to me? When is
Yeah.
it gonna happen to me?
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. And somebody prophetic voices had asked earlier what's the red flags, and I was just asking her
Oh
which
man.
which red flags was she talking about. If you're talking about the red flags of infidelity, let me drop some real quick nuggets for y'all. Statistic wise, infidelity usually happens between people who have things that are in common, and infidelity usually happens with people that know that you have something in common with. And what I mean by that is when you are talking about people that you're close to, you already have one of your security guards down, one of your barriers down, because you know them, you trust them, they already behind your lines. Now, I'm not saying that for people to start looking suspiciously at your group of people, but you do need to know the character of the people that you have hanging around your marriage and around your relationships, and never look at somebody and say, "Oh, they'll do that to them and won't do it to me." Because here's the thing: sin don't have rules.
Right.
Sin doesn't have honor. So you have to understand that. What I found real interesting, and I actually wrote a paper for school on infidelity, and it was interesting. I found this real interesting. A lot of cheating happen around like kids' activities, soccer moms and football dads and cheerleaders. A lot of it happened there. A lot of cheating happened at gyms because people get into the same routines and know each other and become familiar with each other. No surprises that a lot of cheating happens at work because people get real comfortable. They spend 8 hours a day together. But here's the thing that I found out that really threw me for a loop, and this is the last thing I'll say. A lot of cheating, if you see somebody who goes and they lose an extreme amount of weight, they increase their likelihood of cheating. I had no idea. There's an actual statistic. I want to say it's in the top five people that cheat has to do with a dramatic change in body composition. So they lose a lot of weight. And they say, especially among like bariatric patients, they go and have that surgery and they get the feeling themselves. And the first thing they do, no matter how faithful their spouse was to them, they want to go and test out their new body and see what they can pull. That one threw me for a complete loop. And then after I thought about it, it made sense, but it threw me for a complete loop. It threw me for a complete loop. But anyway, Mom, I always have a good time with you.
And I think it's necessary that we have these kind of conversations. It's very necessary. It's time out. It's time to be transparent. Just be transparent, and they need to hear it from us. They need to hear it from us because they look at us like, it's and when we talk about the new thing that God has given me, Single Women's Academy. I am so excited about this Single Women's Academy, and I tell you, I sent invites out. Some people have not accepted, but if you just put Single Women's Academy in the search bar, send a request to be part of it. I'm telling you, God is going to do something phenomenal with this academy. I promise you he is, because it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle being a single woman. I think it's going on 18 or 19 years that I have been divorced. I have been single, and it has not been easy. Hear me, it has not been easy. And as my son say, sometimes you want to go to people, you don't know who to go to. Sometimes you just need to talk to somebody. You don't want to be talking to somebody. And that's one thing about this Single Women's Academy. If you messy, hear me, if you are messy and you got low self-esteem, let us help build that self-esteem. And you got low self-esteem and you messy and you just gossip, you gossip, that ain't the place for you. Don't come in, because some of you may have motives against other people that are part of it, to see what is being done. And we got enough of people not being able to share and to be real about their problems and what they're going with. But this is a safe place. We want it to be a safe place, a no judgment zone. So don't think because you're doing a certain things, we're not going to judge you. What it's going to be is that we want to build you up. And guess what? We want to build you up so that you'll be a better you for you. We want to build you up so you'll be a better you for your family. We want to build you up so that you'll be a better you for your community.
Yes.
That's what we want. So if you messy, stay the hell away from Single Ladies Academy. Because one thing about it, listen, this one I'm not going to miss, because I'm not saying I'm finna die, but I do believe this assignment God has given me, it's not only locally but global. I believe
Yeah.
it's global. And so you got to have a global mentality
Mm-hmm.
to even comprehend what God is getting ready to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm serious. Single Ladies Academy.
Yes,
Look,
ma'am.
come and join us. Come and join. We're working on it. My son, he done slowed me down because I was coming out of the stall running.
Yeah.
And because I was coming out the stall, I got business card now. I got to change the name on the business card.
Mm-hmm.
We dealing with the logo, and then when he asked me, "What's your what was that word, son?"
What's your tagline?
Yeah, what's the tagline? What you mean? What my tagline? So guess what? I didn't wait for him to tell me. I went and looked it up. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that you got to study and seek to be able to do things. So listen, we're so glad that you've been. Some of you have been steady. It went down from 20 something to about 11 something, and that's just one because I got all three of mine. I have all three. So there's comments on all three. I got Growth Inspiration, Titus 2, and Single Ladies Academy. It's in there. So go back and review it. Hear what is being said. Do you have any comments? Shirley, thank you for being with us.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much. And thank you for your comment. Um, I see Mr. E.D. Lloyd. We got some men on here. I wish they'd have been on here earlier so that they could have, but we're going to be coming back. We're going to be coming back. So look for a prophetic voice. Thank you for hearing God. Thank you for hearing God and coming joining to walk with me through this season. I appreciate you, my daughters. My daughter, you see my babies. Two of my daughters are working beside me. One of my daughters say I'm married, but I want to be part. I still want to be part of it. And so she's putting it down there, Single Ladies Academy. So Shirley, thank you so much for being on here, prophetic voice. We had Shanta, Pastor Shanta, Tara, you came on. I haven't heard from you in a while, but thank you for coming on. Pastor Apostle Joe Davis. He said, not the campaign trail. Yes, campaign trail. Don't come playing with me. Don't come
Oh
playing
my
with me because
goodness.
I love God for real. Don't come playing with me. If this ain't what you want, and I understand sometimes she can be a little too much for you. I understand. And
Don't
that ain't
get
the
me
alpha
started.
female.
Yes, ma'am.
That ain't the alpha female. So I just
We
going down thanking Angela Dudley. Thank you for coming on, being with us. Gerard Holton, thank you. Anthony Jackson, if it's still on. But I thank God for my daughters, Alexis and April. April was on here with me. Tanisha is always following me. Michelle Jackson. Well, for every one of y'all, I was going to go down the line, but thank you so much for being on with us. We know that we came on late. We had technical difficulties. It's the reason that we started about 30 minutes late. Thank you for your time. I don't take it for granted. People are getting off from work, trying to get home and do things and trying to get their house together. I do not take it for granted. Time is important. So did you have something else, son?
No, I don't. There's so much more we can say on this, Mom,
Right.
and I'm looking forward to what you're getting ready to do with Single Ladies Academy. I'm we me and my sister's gonna work and make sure that this one pop out right. You
Right.
have given a lot of stuff away for free.
Yes, Lord.
This one right here ain't got to be one of those.
No, sir.
So you're gonna get some free stuff if you're in the group, but
Yeah.
we helping you put the finishing touches on your course and your curriculum, and so that we can really get out here and help women. Because my saying is this: you cannot be a better husband, you cannot be a better wife, a better spouse, a better mother, father, daughter, any of that until you're first a better person.
Yes.
And so we want to make sure that we help people be that better person. And I believe you're going to really be able to do that. And one of the things I want to see you tackle, this is just my own personal request.
Okay.
I want to see you break the pattern in church that is keeping Black women single, because there's an unhealthy dynamic
It
in the
is.
church
It is.
that is keeping many Black women single and causing many women, whether Black or not, to enter into unhealthy relationships
Yes, sir.
because of unhealthy places where they are growing. And
Yeah.
we ain't got to go into it, but
Right.
I expect
Absolutely.
to see that as
Absolutely.
one of the things that you definitely teach on, because I think that I just know parts of your story that in my mind I already wrote two different keynotes that you can tell on your story that'll cover that topic. So
And that another thing is my book. Go to Amazon.com. I've written 5 books. Judged Nothing Before It's Time, because I was judged because of the trauma that I dealt with from childhood. And that's one of the things that a lot of women are dealing with, is the trauma, and has not have been stuck in a place of childhood trauma that happened to them and have not dealt with it. But we want to make sure that you deal with it and get unstuck, because it's not a healthy thing that that you're in that place and you will not come out of it. So we want to deal with that trauma that you have dealt with in your past, because I dealt with a lot of trauma being a young girl, not and internalizing what took care of me, and didn't have anybody to help deal with the trauma that I dealt with. And so we want to deal with the trauma, whether it was of your childhood, whether it was in a marriage, wherever it is. We want to be able to deal with it. And you can go talk about God, your husband, all you want. That religious spirit, that God is your husband. God is a spirit. God is a spirit. You need to stop saying that. He did say he can be a husband man, but that ain't what he meant. So we need to get the word together. And if you don't want to be married, but as for me, I don't want to be nobody's girlfriend. I'm looking to be somebody's wife, because I'm wife material.
well, if
I
God is
am.
their husband, stop sleeping with that man.
Yeah, definite. What you say?
If
Stop
God is
sleeping
their
with that
husband,
man.
stop sleeping with that man.
Yeah, stop sleeping with the man. That
Yeah,
was say the better part. That say
including
that
that
as
rose.
Jesus said about but that Jesus says about the wine. Say the better part for last.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
That's
ma'am.
my better part. So I'm saving it for last. And so
Yes, ma'am.
listen, we're going to be, I think I'll be on next Monday or next Tuesday with Bishop J.L. Jones. I'll be on with him next. And he and my son always have catchy, subjects. And so Bishop Jones, that's next Monday night. So if you don't have anything to do next Monday night, come and be with us next Monday night, and we still be excited. But I just want to say to each and everyone, did I miss something? Say that, Apostle, we are marriage material. You right about it. I am marriage material. Good show tonight. Thank you so much for being
Yes,
on
ma'am.
with us. We'll be back soon. We'll be
Yes,
back
ma'am.
soon. So just watch out. Thank you and have a great evening. Okay. Have a
Yes,
great
ma'am.
evening. Good night.
Good night.